Like, yo, like,
look, how long that Bible been out for? It's only been, let's just say that we know, it's only been a couple, 200, 300 years. That's not a long time.
No, 2017. I mean, sometime. I mean, Bible came after, the Bible was before Jesus was born.
So they say.
Supposedly, right, but based off what we got.
But for our history, the Bible's been around for what, like 300, 400 years? That's not that long.
Nah, I don't think it's been long.
It's been long. I don't know. I never did the research on it, but that's a good question though.
Right, but
I mean, it was there before slavery.
I mean, supposedly it's supposed to be a book that was passed through generations, basically like before Christ and all that. And of course, as you mentioned, I know we talked about it before.
Shit.
A lot of things can change and all that.
When they say verse, because we didn't have music, we didn't have recordings and stuff like that. So when they say writing a verse, is it like, all right, I'm gonna pass this book along and you write your story, and this is my verse? You know what I mean? Could it have been like that? Because there's so many different stories. I mean, with different names. Exodus.
Yeah. What is the definition of verse? I don't think nobody really looked up the definition of verse.
Verse is like, okay.
I think it was David told his story. What does it say? It's David and everybody's got a name.
Story. When you start writing a verse,
it is. So yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So could it have been like that?
That makes how it is. Yeah, that makes the sense.
No, I mean, but that's not even.
So it's not like God is up there like.
Wait, time out.
But I think people
I ain't gonna let that slide.
But there's people that believe that though.
David's got his David verse and the King James version. Like everybody, if you read the Bible before Exodus, like these are people and these are their stories, right?
Yeah.
I never read the Bible, but I know that's like 99.9% of people that read the Bible know one person didn't write the Bible. Everybody wrote their piece.
Their verse.
David wrote his piece. And
so what are we saying?
I don't.
So what are people saying the Bible is? Why are people saying this thing is so sacred? And if it's just
because it was just the story of how it started. Like these people supposedly were, like people from God. Like God, I guess supposedly like
that work. Yeah, these are people that were with God, and these are people who witnessed.
And this is just the Bible. Think about it, there's way more religions than Christianity.
So are we saying the Bible?
And they have nothing to do with King David.
Are we saying the Bible's BS?
No, I'm saying everybody has. Think about it. I think at one point there was someone who was closer to God than the rest of us from the beginning. Because if God created all this, there had to be some people from the beginning that would have to know God more. There had to be the first child, right? If I have 1 million kids, let's say me and my girl have 1 million kids, the kid that comes out first, second, third, fourth, and fifth are going to know a lot more about me than the 500,000th child.
Okay.
So these people who were some of the earlier people, I think, knew what the real story was. So they started telling their version.
I got D. This is what I think too. It's almost like history, right? You see history like the Civil Rights War and all that. We get what happened in the book, but is that really what happened? It's probably close. It's probably an idea. I think what it is really because we weren't there, so we didn't witness it. I think it gives you a ideal of what happened.
It's their depiction.
It's their depiction of it. It's their point because like we could be at the same spot and talk about how somebody got in a fight. You know, like nah, nigga, that ain't how it went down.
Right.
It went down like this.
Yeah.
But it's giving you an ideal that something did happen.
Something happened. Everybody saw the fight. But everybody got a different perspective.
Right, you be like, oh, I ain't see him hit him like that. Nah, bro, he did. Yeah, he snuck him. You ain't see him with that right.
So what's the point of it?
They just wanted to tell a story like anything else.
So why is it worshipped?
Because think about it, if you pass it down to your kid, anything you pass down to your kid is going to believe you. And if you get a bunch of people to believe you, then it's a thing.
Right, you gotta things have to live on. Like it's almost like the American flag. Like that could have died. I mean, even though I don't really care about a flag, but I get why people like the flag.
Yeah,
but they bring it down. They tell you the history behind it. They tell you how it's good, and they want to get you to believe it and understand why it's so great. And then it's your choice, really, whether to believe it or not. I mean, but for me, I just think it's like with anything. It's like football. Like I like the Cowboys. The reason I like them is because initially my dad was a Cowboy fan. He didn't force me on it, but he told me about him, why he liked him and all that. And I did my history research on it. I was like, now I like the Cowboys.
Just passed down.
And I just chose to like them. You had your own direction why you like the Steelers. There's probably a story behind it. Probably like, yo, I just said I like this team. And then you start reading on them like, yo, this is my team.
Imagine if it started off with just one football team. Like, and football team was just like the Harlem Globetrotters. And they just did tricks, right? They just did tricks. They didn't play against anybody. They just did tricks. And for years, it was just one team. I
just don't get why people are divided or believe
different things.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, like I just don't get what.
No different than how you like trap music and I don't. Like, you're gonna stand, but you don't like Kevin Durant and I do. You will argue me to the death of why he's not top 5. That is exactly the world in a nutshell. There's people that believe what they want to believe. They don't give a fuck about the person who don't believe them. When we're in a heated argument, at that point, nigga, you hate me. It's not real hate, but it's like, fuck what you talking about.
It's just like one of the oldest artifacts that's been around.
Is everyone's story of how this shit started. Imagine the person that can be like, I can tell a story about how this shit started.
So basically when it says like, okay, this man went from town to town, he had wives, that's all he was saying, that he just went around knocking niggas.
And think about it, you're only speaking on the religion you know, right? As much as you think that story's maybe not real, there's at least hundreds of different religions with different Bibles that it has nothing to do with Christianity. It's just, and that's just their depiction on who the creator was and why he created this and what he wants us to do. So it's no one can say which one is right.
I got you.
It's just like all these people was here in the beginning, and some people think is this. Is the way to live.
What you said though, like was kind of like real and dope. Like when you said it, like it is like in a nutshell, it's just how it is. Like everybody you have a choice.
Yeah,
and it's like you chose to go down certain lane. You might be like, why you play basketball in high school? Because I liked it.
I just like basketball.
But football's better. You might be like, no, basketball's better. But we can't say you're lame because you like that, because that's what you like.
Yes.
And it makes you happy and comfortable. So I get it.
And that's religion in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Think about it. For all we know, God was God. And he was like, I'm God. I'm not letting y'all know how I did this. Just know I created this shit. I'm not going to let y'all know how I created this. Y'all can have my secrets. And everybody at this point was just like, yo, how the fuck did we get here? This is how I think we got here. Nah, nigga, this is how I think we got here. And then it could just be like everybody is just telling how they think it happened. And God may be up there like, you know what I mean? This is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to have free will. I want y'all to have free thoughts. I want y'all to experiment and talk to each other and come together. Maybe he didn't want us to war together.
Right.
But God can be up there like, yo, none of you motherfuckers know how this shit started. And I ain't giving y'all my secret. Y'all can figure it out.
And I ain't going to hold you. I just think like not even stay on it so long, but I agree with you. I think good vibes is like, positive vibes and positive energy is just like a real thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, because you feel good about it. Like if you do something good for somebody, you feel warm inside.
Right.
And for me, that means a lot.
Yeah.
For somebody if you don't want to put a religion or anything, just saying like, if you do something good for somebody, do you feel good about it? Why does that make you feel good? Because it's just the energy that's around, and that positive energy is just amazing. So, I mean, just to say is everybody has their own opinion. Everybody had their own thoughts. And be you and be happy.
It's crazy because I watched a movie called The Shack, and it was like not a Christianity movie, but it was a movie with kind of Christianity or Christian morals. And the dude, his daughter got killed and raped and killed by some random dude. And the dude whose daughter died, like he was harping on the fact that I hate this dude. He did wrong and all that. So whatever, he goes to explore and try to find the truth out. And then like he has this epiphany where he's into God kind of brings him into like a different dimension where God is actually talking to him, but he's depicting himself as two women and a guy, and they're all teaching this dude. And the main guy like asked him like, why do you hate this dude? And she was like, and he kind of said like, well, he raped my daughter, he was wrong. And God was like, who the fuck are you? Like, you're not the judge. I'm motherfucking God. Who are you to say he was wrong? You know what I mean? And maybe he is, but bitch, you don't determine what's right and wrong. You know what I mean? Or you can't. It's if you judge someone. I guess the moral story was if you judge someone, you'll never be able to let it go because it'll harp there because you're not really a judge. Yeah. Like you're judging someone without the means to really. Or even to really punish him. True. You know what I'm saying? You can go and kill that dude.
You didn't make the rules.
But you'll never let that go. Right? You didn't make the rules. Y'all not here to do the judging. If I'm God, I'm here to judge. Who are you to say what's right and what's wrong? You do what you feel. If you think something is wrong, you think that's wrong, but you're in no position to be the judge.
I don't know if you could just be walking around doing whatever you feel though.
That's not what the moral was. The moral was if you think he wrong, it'll be taken care of. it's not your job to take care of it.
Okay, I get that.
That's what it was. It was like, you can feel he's wrong, and that's fine. But
what about a nigga a serial killer who's killed 50 people due to times of versus a person who killed 13 people.
And that's what the guy says something along the lines of, I don't make shit happen. Everyone has free will. Because the dude was like, why are you letting this happen? He said, I don't make this happen. I help you get through it. Mm-hmm. But it's not I'm not a puppet. That would make me fucked up if I'm up there making people do things. I don't make people do anything. Everybody has the ability to do anything they want. Mm-hmm. If it's bad, I'm not going to take care of them. The way I'll set this shit up is they'll be taken care of. Whether it's they eat themselves up, whether it's regardless what
somebody
it is.
Else take them
but
out, yeah.
I'm just not. I mean, you're not the judge. You're not there to persecute this person for doing wrong. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, in the society we live in, we do need to keep serial killers away, right? And it maybe that's just what we need to do to let the world fly. So I don't.
So So if I was a person who said, I'm going to lock this serial killer up,
right?
Am I wrong?
I don't think you're quote unquote wrong, because she wasn't punishing this dude for doing that, for wanting to kill the serial killer. She was just saying, well, just a heads up, this is the reason why you're unhappy. Like, he was harping on it. He couldn't continue his life. He had other kids, other wife, and everything was just damaging. Like, his wife relationship was going bad. His relationship with his daughter was going bad. He was not able to realize his daughter thinks she's at fault. He couldn't even see that because he was so channeled, and it wasn't her job to pull him up and now judge him or say he was wrong for judging. Mm-hmm. She was trying to, she's like I said, she wasn't here to, she was here to help people get through shit. And that was her way of helping him get through it. Like, yo, you're not the judge. You just got to understand that that's just how this world is. And if it's wrong, they'll get dealt with. But if you want to get over it, mm-hmm. you won't get over it thinking like you're in control.
Like, and you got to do something about it. I mean, even though I know it's easier said than done.
For sure.
Because when you got stuff on your mind or somebody get you to that level, I mean, you feel like, yo, I just want to.
Like, she told him, you got to forgive him. You got to forgive him. She was like, if you don't forgive him, you'll never get out of that. So you'll never even. So basically, you're killing the relationship with the kids. You do have 2 other kids and a wife. You're killing it because you're focusing on this.
Raped her and killed her?
That's what we think. Like, it never showed it happen. It just showed her dress with some blood on it in some little shack in the woods.
So he was like dreaming of her. Like, he was in this world where.
No, it happened. It was a serial killer on the loose, and the cops knew that most likely the serial killer that killed these other girls probably killed your daughter too, because we found her dress with the blood on it. Mm-hmm. So he went up. He got a letter in his mailbox, basically making it seem like it was from the serial killer. So he went up there, and then he like fell, and when he kind of like came out of a little conscience, mm-hmm. he was with like this black lady and this Indian lady and this black lady, a Chinese woman, and an Indian man, mm-hmm. and they was all like supposed to be like portions of God, you mm-hmm. know what I mean? And he had little experiences with both of them, and like the one time it was like the Indian dude was on the water, and he said, "Come out here," and dude was like, I got a boat," and he was like, "Come out here, like you can walk on water." So he walked on water, and he came to him. But then when the Indian dude was away, he tried to walk on water again, and he fucking fell in the water. And God was like, "I can help you, but you're not gonna just be me. You can't just do what I do. But if I hold your hand, I can help you through it."
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So it was just little It's an interesting watch. Like, it's just little different life values that it was making sense. And like I said, it wasn't. She wasn't judging him for judging people. She was just saying, you can judge people all you want. Your quote unquote penalty for trying to be the judge is you're just gonna harp over this shit. You're never gonna let it go. So that's how that shit went.
That's dope.
Word.